Hi, friends, and good evening. I hope you can all hear me. Today, Dream Books Films brings a very special edition, episode, and an inspirational journey and discussion with a very special guest. But before I bring our special guest, which is due for 5 p.m. Indian time and 7:30 Singapore time. Our special guest is based in Singapore, and for all our other viewers, friends, and supporters and aspirant writers, some of you have sent in your questions. As previous session, how they liked the explanations of certain nitty gritty. So I urge you to write to me directly and sign up for the one-on-one face-to-face sessions that we have, and more on the show later. Today, Dream Books and Films, okay, is bringing. It's a platform. It's a mentoring program. It is a methodology to the process of how you make your book or how you make that story into a certain developed content for the over-the-top platforms or the Netflix, the Amazon Prime, and all those names that we already are aware of. So, Dream Books Films brings all aspiring writers, authors, and an exclusive mentor program, a boutique creative know how consulting team at your disposal. Candy, that's myself. I'm a part of that, and I spearhead this initiative after the amount of feedback and certain projects that we got. We were inspired by the writers and authors themselves, and a lot of we have expert filmmakers on the panel that we have, and a lot of the chief mentor in author for authors to become an author to for the author fraternity for the second book that you're going to be writing, or and we have publishers also, Z Quails publishers, who are a partner of our program, and they're there to make sure that your journey is not difficult or tedious. So if you are a dreamer, have concepts, I like to call myself as a dreamer, ideas, business story for a book, half written stories, some of us begin and we have an inspiration, and now that so many things are happening around us, I think there's a lot of we would like to take to writing, and why not? It is very therapeutic, and I really recommend that when you get some time, just type out to yourself on a WhatsApp or type out a mail to your own self. It's very, very healing. So as a writer, script writer, bring your craft to this creative boutique that we have called Dream Books and Films. It is gives you an opportunity to talk to your chief mentors. You can have an intensive discussion, and you'll understand the steps, and we support you at each stage of the journey to connect you to the right people, to the fraternity, which is who are content creators, digital platforms, acquisition departments as they're called, and studios, which a lot of us, most of us, don't have an access to. And here, in a very boutique consulting team put together to aid and help this journey of yours. This is where art and business come together to make those dreams and ideas turn into completed books or scripts for the digital screen that you're seeing. So many of those films, and currently you're seeing Bombay Begums, which is very, very popular. And some of the older ones, I think you're seeing Gili Pucci, and some of those very, very rare and unique and very, very hard-hitting stories that are come from so many ideas and concepts like this, and are now showcased and being streamed, and that we're enjoying. So let's get into the nitty-gritties of that. And today what we're going to do is, and this is where we come into the pictures, Dream Books Films, making your project market ready, okay, to present to the content creators, the digital platforms, studios, and the acquisition departments. On their own, you wouldn't be able to do that. So today, let's talk about the books and the films is something which is the product of what you're going to do from your dream. So today, Dream Books Films is going to cover the most beautiful aspect of our projects, the dream. It all begins with a dream, the seed which then germinates with the right soil, water, and nurturing. Dreams are what keep us all going. Today, hope is what we are thriving on. With whatever is going on, we pray, we meditate, we hope for the best for our friends, for ourselves, right? And so that is what keeps us going, that hope of light and the faith that we have. Today's guest on DBF panel is very special to us. because she has been listening to her dreams calling her and has manifested her dreams to come alive. And not only her own, but many others' dreams too. She is a true dream catcher. On today's session of Your Dreams Are Calling You, Live Your Dream, I have so many exciting questions to pose and topics to cover with our guest. Okay, so she has turned from dream catcher to filmmaker. She has embarked on a very, very beautiful journey, and she has been doing multiple things. And I can't wait to talk to her. I'm going to see if she's come on, in backstage, so that I can bring her on to all of you. I'm hoping you all are able to see me and hear me well. And so, without much ado, let me just see. Yes, Sarabjit, thank you for joining us. Good evening in Singapore. And thank you so much. I am going to bring our darling guest onto the screen now. Believe you me, this term I very rarely use for any of our guests, but you will see why. Today I have that word for her. Okay, so I am bringing her on stage, adding her to our stream, and before I hand her over, 1 minute. Can you see, Shalima? Are you able to see?
Yes, it says you're in the show and everyone can see and hear you. Is that correct?
We just want a confirmation that we're able to see and hear.
So Sarabjit Ji is
Some
logged in, I hear. So we can probably ask her.
Yes, Sarabjit ji, can you tell us if you can hear us and see us? Yes, I think you're visible. So that's good. And I can see you next to my window, Shalima, as if I
And
can
I can
walk
see you.
across.
I know.
It's beautiful
How are
to
you
have you over.
doing? So good to
We're
see you.
I know, sir. It's nice to see a lot of people joining us. So I am really looking forward to our complete 1 hour. I know, and I have so many things to talk to you today. I know. Before I begin on a very formal note, I want to welcome everyone, all your friends, or our friends in Singapore, all our global viewers. Dream Books Films is a very initiative of just 2 years old, and it is now we are talking about it because we've got so many people on board now. And I remember us talking about Dream Books Films a year and a half ago. I think a year and a half ago, and I know you embarked on a very beautiful journey, and we'll come to those very meaty parts of the program. Thank you, all our viewers. I want to say thank you for everyone joining in, aspirant writers, authors who, if you missed this program, do watch this program later, and those who are trying to take the journey of dream to story to a film, do watch this for inspiration. Now, other than writers, now many people tell us that we are not writers, we are not authors. What do? We have a germ of an idea, and I only have one thing to say, sow the seed, put the seed into the ground, take that first step. And that taking that first step takes courage, and that's the inspiration today Shalima is going to talk about. And first of all, let me wish dream catchers, your baby, your company in Singapore, a hearty congratulations on its 10th anniversary.
I can see that written and it's so heartwarming. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Congra-
Means so
con-
much to me. All the wishes for
Congratulations.
the moment. I just feel so blessed and in complete
Congratulations.
gratitude.
So I'm going to keep that on till I talk and I begin the program. And for that, I'm going to keep that so that I want you to feel the magic of this moment, Shalima. It is no small feat. Even if people congratulate you, how much ever, that step that you took 10 years ago, or maybe 11 years ago, and then it became something. So cheers to those multiple successful milestones. And if you wrote a book, I can tell you your milestones will be very inspirational to people. So we
Thank
must.
you. Thank you.
And I have watched you closely for the half of your journey, I think, right? And I didn't know
Yes.
you when you were 5 years old, I think, right? And
Yes.
you have seen the trajectory of a business grow, and it is not easy. You have been through those, right? And for people, 1 decade seems like big deal. But I can tell you, every one of those steps, guys and girls and people joined us, audience, they are very precious. You must make records, notes of it. And knowing Shalima, I know she
I
makes
have
notes.
records and pictures, pictures and albums and videos. Yes, I have recorded every single event.
See, so I was not wrong. So you heard. I just had to say that, and she was like, "Yes, I have all of it." So one sec, I'm going to put this on the ticker so that it shows up just before we begin, and I'm going to take off this banner. So wishing you that again, so that hide the banner. Yes, I've hit it now, it's come on live. So let me introduce you first to everyone. Okay, I have to do the honors. I have the privilege today to introduce our super special guest, and you will know why super special. And before I begin, this is an inspirational story. Okay, I want everyone who are not even writers, authors, or anyone watching this and who will watch it later to be inspired. We are going through very unprecedented tough times and very gloomy around, but there are nuggets of this talk today, and this what sharing Shalima is going to do. She speaks straight from the heart, and you will see that. I would like everyone to take that as, you know, nuggets of hope, you know. And I wish everyone a lot of healing, a lot of prayers from all over for everyone, any manner that we are going, whatever we are going through. God bless everyone. And on that note, I'll begin. Dream catchers to filmmaker Shalima Motial has embarked with a beautiful, vivacious step forward. We are in conversation with this beautiful, vivacious, and super dream catcher turned filmmaker, founder and CEO of Dreamcatchers. And Dreamcatchers are now celebrating their 10th birthday. So, what better occasion? They are 10 years young, as she says. Congratulations on this super milestone once again. And cheers to many more years of success. Dreamcatchers have done Dreamcatchers have done very niche events, provided a platform to artists through various contests and concerts, provided a platform to women through Runway Mom, did 5 successful seasons of it, moved to theater, and then short films. Now, that was 3 lines, but I can tell you a lot of hard work. Shalima and her, when you hear her talk, what she's going to say, you will hear this often: there is no harm in trying, right? And I truly believe nothing ventured. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. I believe in that sentence. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. You've got to take the fly off the fence, as I say in bird language. And hard work and perseverance, there is no substitute to that. So on that note, Shalima, I am going to ask you very important questions that all of us want to hear from you as to how you navigated this journey. Today we are actually focused on hear that dream calling you and live it. Not easy for most of us. Okay, so what makes success happen? What keeps you going, Shalima?
Right. So many loaded questions in one. First of all, good evening, everyone. And thank you so much, Candy, for having me at your platform. It's very close to my heart. Dreams, books, and films. You know, dreams is what keeps us all going. I guess each and everyone, no matter what stage of our life we are in, we are constantly dreaming about something that we want to achieve, something that we want to be, someone that we want to be with, and that keeps us alive and excited in life, right? So that's how I had a dream of starting something of my own. I've always had this entrepreneurial streak in me back in India as well. I had my company called Stepping Stones. So something to do on my own where I could even work 12 hours to 14 hours a day. And whatever success or failure comes out of that belongs to me. So whatever hard work that I put in, if it is a success, it's mine. If it's failure, it's mine. And that kind of freedom, I think you get as an entrepreneur. And to be an entrepreneur, you have to be a dreamer. You have to take risks because everybody can dream. But how many of us can get up and then say, okay, no 9 to 5 job, no job security, no income coming in, don't know if this idea is going to be a success or not, but I am willing to give it a shot. And when that happens, when a beautiful platform is born, right? And then hard work, perseverance, that's what keeps you going, and the relentlessness with which you follow your dream. That's what keeps you going, because it doesn't come easy. What people see is, the top of the mountain. Oh, awards and interviews and print interviews and, all of that, all the glory and everything good. But what goes below that mountain is layers and layers and layers of hard work and tears and sweat and stress and so many other things. But then I guess that goes for any entrepreneur or any dream that one has, be it even in a corporate life. If people are following their passion of being a dancer or singer, or an actor, or whatever field that they choose to be in. For instance, just recently we successfully finished our big event, Superstars Singapore, an initiative of Dreamcatchers and ZTV. And we had such talented people on our platform, and they're not all, into that, as in singing or acting as their full-time job. So most of them had it as their passion. And it was so interesting to see people take out that kind of time for their dream. It's a dream at the end of the day, to be able to perform in front of people, to be able to reach your voice out, singing voice or acting or dance or whatever passion you have, to be able to then reach out to a larger number of audience. And again, that needs a lot of hard work, because people who are in jobs are anyways pulled in 2-3 different directions. They need to work, they need to take care of the family, have their social life, and then from that take out a chunk of time to rehearse and practice and then be a part of a platform which we offered to them. And we've had an overwhelming response. And I call them all dreamers, because if they didn't dream of performing or doing something other than what they're already doing in their life, they wouldn't have come forward and participated. So there is a dreamer in all of us. And I always urge everyone to give it wings, to not just let it die in the drawing room, singing in front of 4 friends, or if you're a stand-up comedian, being funny in front of 4 friends. Take it out. Take out that passion, that thing that you have, that zest for that particular craft. And, there's a big platform that so many of us are trying to provide to artists. So take that on. And I think I was one of them who, had this dream, worked hard for it, so many failures. The first 3 years, everything I tried failed, bombed. And I was just relentless. And that's also a huge thanks to the support I had. There was a time when I was like, let's wrap up. Let me just, I'm educated. I have experience by my side. I've worked earlier. So let me just look for a 9 to 5, and why just keep putting in good money after bad money? And, in being an entrepreneur, there is a lot of investment that goes. And I have my angels around me who guide me. So I have this strong faith and support system in my God. And so I get signals. And one of the signals I got was from Singapore Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, most promising entrepreneur letter, that you come and be a part of this. And then I'm like, okay, so can't wrap up my business just yet. And then a big concert came my way, organized that, and then kept coming up with newer ideas and niche events, and rest is history. And then there was no looking back, and it's been 10 years. Yes, long time.
So, you said so many things. Your first concert, you said a couple of very, very key points as inspiration, right? All of us dream. You're very right, Shalima. All of us dream. But however, and a lot of people say, hard work is fine. We also put in hard work. We are also persevering. But there is still that small differentiator, right? And it's not just about the end success. It is about keeping on going at it. Now, when you began, you rightly said, you had a certain amount of skills, and the skills and talent that you had. Those were very different 5 years ago, and we are evolving every year, I would say every minute. But over the 10 years, what do you see you've evolved as? What did you start with? What did you gain in terms of skills and talent? Because you've also interacted with so many people. I think there are more than, I don't know how many people now, 3 million, 10 million, how many people you've interacted with, right? So many. So what did you take along? What did you drop? Very key part of learning, I think, is keeping certain skills that work and dropping certain skills that don't work, right?
And beautiful question, actually. It's really lovely, and it's got me thinking. Thanks for the question. So I came with a certain idea when I launched the platform that it's going to be, something like American Idol, Indian Idol, but online. And that's how I started it. What I learned in the process of doing that for 3 years and, worldwide concerts and online concerts, which people were not so used to that time. I would give away cash prizes to the tune of $1,000, $3,000. The winners would take it, be very happy. I sent money to Nepal, to Russia, to Malaysia, so many places where these participants came and participated in Most Wanted Entertainer, Music Star Wars. We did 3-4 seasons of Most Wanted Entertainer, and they would never come back. And because it was a new concept, I didn't even get any advertisers. So what I learned in the process was, don't be married to the initial idea you start out with. It might work, it might not work. But if you're very stubborn about, no, this is what I started with, this is what I'm going to carry on with, whether it's working or not, then that's not evolving. You have to evolve in the process. You have to learn what's working, ditch what's not working, see the market. Then when I started events, after this launched bandwidth, actually, thanks to our friends who gave me this big opportunity to organize it end to end. And I learned so much in the process. So one thing that I always have been doing, and I'm very shameless about it, that everybody doesn't know everything, right? Even at this age, after 10 years of my company, I am still constantly learning. So in that sense, I'm a student of life. And there's no shame in that. There's no shame in saying, oh, how does this work? I don't know. Can you teach me? Or, you might know this better than me. Can you help me? There is no shame in asking for help. And when you're open in that sense to ask for help and accept that I don't know it all, it always helps. It helps you grow in so many ways and forms. And then the other thing is that because I got into events industry, thank God for me being from the forces background. My dad is in the Indian Air Force, was in the Indian Air Force. He's retired now. And organizing came like in my DNA, I think. So with events, you need to keep making lists, and keep ticking it and do things ahead of time. I am not a last minute person, so my brain stops functioning last minute. So everything has to be done ahead of time. Despite all the planning, there are things in events that just go wrong in the last minute. So then to ask for help, to rely on your team, all of those things one learns with experience. When I got into events, I didn't want to do what everybody else in events industry was doing. That again, for entrepreneurs, you need to find your niche. You need to find something that the other people aren't offering. That's when it's more exciting. Even for you to work, it's more exciting if you're in a new area, new field, which not everybody, like you have started with your dreams, books, and films. You are providing a platform to people to realize their dreams. If they say, oh, we are not writers, but we have a story in our head, it could be their own personal story, which then, you are offering that we will make a short film out of it, we will make a TV series out of it, come on board and we'll help you even write your story. If you're not a writer, but, even if you're not a writer, everybody has a story. No matter a person on the street, lower middle class, wealthy, whoever, corporate professional, entrepreneur, everybody has a story. And, so I would always tell myself, I'm not creative enough to be a writer. That story needs to be edited, and that I did just a couple of years back. I said, no, let me not say that negative story about me. Otherwise, I'm very positive, happy-go-lucky, bindas person, right? But certain things we so, subconsciously keep telling ourselves, I'm not good at this or I'm not good at that. And that becomes us. So never write a story for yourself which is negative. Edit your story. I edited my story to say, no, let me give it a shot. Because I wrote my monologue. And when I got into acting, the first performance that I did, I wrote it myself. And it was very well received. And suddenly, there was a pop. Oh, so I can write. What I wrote was well received. So remove that thing of, I am not a writer or I'm not creative enough to write. We all have a story we want to share. It might not be very fancy words, but if it touches a chord somewhere, if it sort of relates or resonates with people who are at the receiving end of it, great. You don't need to be a Shakespeare to write a story, right? So you could be your own person telling your own story in your own way, through films, through books, through whatever medium. Now there are so many OTT platforms. So you could be doing that. And my journey of writing started with my own monologues. So when I started doing that, then I said, okay, if I can write monologues, what's stopping me from writing a script? And in that sense, COVID came as a blessing in disguise for some of us creative people who couldn't work, So the negative again, because everything was shut, events was the last thing that even now can operate full fledged. So, and I am not the types who can just sit and, not do anything. Again, that's not a part of my DNA. So I was like, okay, let's do something that is fun. So I started writing. And then, there were news coming from everywhere. It was gloom everywhere, which is still continuing. And we are all going through our own personal, stories of this is happening there and that is happening there. This one's suffering and that friend and that relative. And so I'd heard about domestic abuse. And that's when I wrote the film called Flipside. So I wanted to show people that domestic abuse is not just at, we would hear growing up about our domestic helpers that they would go through domestic abuse, but educated women, independent, financially independent women go through domestic abuse as well. And that is something that's not so talked about. So again, in films, I started looking for things. It has to be entertaining, right? But that everybody is doing. I wanted to then pass on a message through my films, to reach out to people who are silently suffering in my own way. So for me, I did films for fun as well. We did players and we did 5 questions, which were purely for entertainment. Feel good. You watch 5 minutes and you say, "Oh, so cute! What a lovely story!" and so fun, right? But so fun, lovely story, and all that. Many people are doing something that kind of leaves you thinking at the end of it, like, "Oh my god, I didn't expect this." Or I again did a short film on mental health awareness called Caged. So that again, recently a company in India reviewed the film, and we had 3 long episodes where he was very intrigued, like, why do you show successful women go through mental health or go through domestic abuse? And I'm like, why not? He says, no, but you're showing this person who's an entrepreneur, who's loved, and she's giving a radio interview. If you've seen Caged, you would relate to it, that she's doing well in life, she's sorted, she's financially independent. Why would you show her suffering through mental health issues? And I was like, see, that is what people don't realize, that if everything is going okay on the outside, doesn't mean everything is okay on the inside as well. And there are so many women who are silently suffering because it's a taboo in the society to go see a counselor or talk about, I am feeling low or I am feeling depressed. Because next minute people are like, oh, but you have this going right. And somewhere we all do that. We all do it to our friends, to our children. I am guilty of doing that. I'm like, count your blessings. When children are complaining about something, you instantly say, no, look at the positive and count your blessings and this, that, and the other. But they might be going through things that then one needs to stop, think, and validate that, yes, those are real feelings. And what can you do about it? So single-handedly, I can probably touch 5, 10 lives by individually talking to them. But film is a medium that, Touching Hearts covered it. So we had 100,000 views on that. Touching Hearts has some 2.2 million followership. Pocket Films is a very big platform in India for short films. So Caged and Flipside and Soulmates and Players, they picked up all these films. So that's when one feels that all that story writing and then making it into films is now finally reaching a bigger audience. And somewhere, even if it touches 100 lives, it's a small, very small, effort on my part. And considering we've been in lockdown and, you can't have a big team from outside, you still can't, then in our own small way, trying to produce these films at whatever budgets and, places that we can go to and do it, we've been doing it. So yes, I answered it in a very long fashion. But what I've gained from the last 10 years is learn, always learn, keep learning. When I entered acting also, I kept doing courses after courses. Let age or experience not stop you. I've been there, done that. I don't need to learn. We need to learn till our last breath, right? That's what keeps us going. And second is evolve, change, adapt. If one thing is not working, if A is not working, there's B, C, D, E, F, all the way till Z. So keep trying till something clicks and something works. And change is the only constant in life. So you have to change and adapt and learn and relearn. And I learn from everyone who comes across my path. So I've had runway moms in so many seasons, so many artists in so many different platforms. I have learned from every single person I've interacted with. How to be, how not to be, what to say, what not to say. So all of that. Yeah.
How to ride the wave.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, that's a fabulous journey. You have covered so many nuggets. Now, let me just name some of them. Be adaptable, flexible. When things don't go, don't stick to that agenda. I want to do this, don't do that, right? Be open to changing that story and narrative. Two is don't put yourself down, right? Whether man, woman, or whatever. Don't put yourself down. Don't say, I can't be a writer. If you have that inside you, it will see you through. The passion will, right? And yeah, we know change is a constant, but very few are able to take that, and take that step. Now, on that point, I want to stay here. You moved from being writer, you suddenly realized from the various feedback. Now I'm going to whenever I speak to you, Shalima, you bring this other side of me out. Now I think this is very, very typical of an inspirational entrepreneur. Okay, what you say, you solicit it out. And let me tell you what that point is. Now this is really so unscripted, right? Is that you've just told me in all of this, right? That be flexible, yes. Be able to adapt, yes. But what is that particular thing in Shalima that makes her do all this, right? There is that particular point in every person that says, okay, some people need success to do it. They get spurred on by one success, then I'll continue. Right? It's not always possible, and you've been through that. You learn from writer, now you also act, and you're doing TikTok. The funniest TikToks I've seen for the season, I can't tell you, whole year. Thanks to you, I have been smiling all the time, and I keep going back to those. Just when I'm down, I just go back to those silly TikToks of yours, but I cannot tell you how inspirational they are. Okay, and it is. And that is the word we need to use on this platform. When you are bringing a dream, it is uninhibited passion. The minute you stop yourself, right, is when it becomes inhibited. Our fears are, so my quote side is now coming out, which is what I wanted to tell you, that you bring out this side. So you cross that path of the fears, you jump that doubt bridge, okay, and you leap. Now, there is something that inspires you to leap from writer to actor. Suddenly, I saw you making acting, videos. Suddenly, I saw you jumping around doing photographs and this and that. What makes that happen in Shalima? I want to really understand that today for everyone. It is a very unique trait you have in you, Shalima, and I've watched you very closely on this. I want to hear it today.
Again, you're asking such amazing, beautiful questions. And thank you for that, because, when my friends log in, and like my lovely Sarabjit ji is there. I can't see other viewers right now, but I know she's there. And, I sometimes cringe because I'm like, oh God, they're hearing the same old Dreamcatcher story again and again, and yet they log in again and again. But the questions you're asking are also getting me to think about myself, about my journey. So thank you for that. What actually keeps me going is my strong faith in the Almighty. So once I have a belief in the project that I'm going to launch, then there is no inhibition, because I know He will help me see it through, right? And with that faith, and that I am doing something for the society, right? I am doing it for the artists. I'm doing it for women through my runway platform. I'm doing it for the actors through theater, or through the short films that I'm doing. So my project is never about just me. My project is about a lot of people. It involves a bigger community. So when you have other people in mind, when you have something that you want to provide to others, that's what gets you excited, right? That's what gets me excited for sure. That okay, superstars Singapore, let's provide this platform. People are sitting home, they're not able to go anywhere. At least give them a platform to come sing, dance, do whatever it is that they love doing. And so that is the first step. And then what pushes me without inhibition is the strong faith in my Almighty that once my heart is in the right place, nothing can go wrong. And when you're working so hard, you're working relentlessly, your heart is in the right place, you're doing it for others, what can go wrong? You're just manifesting positivity, you're manifesting goodness. There is no scope for it to go wrong. And when that is removed from the story, that eliminates the fear of failure or what if this goes wrong, what if that, what if is removed, that's it. Everything goes beautifully. Then there is no doubt, there's no inhibition. Of course, if it's a very self-centered thing, it's all I, me, my, then there is doubt, right? That will it be successful? Will it be not? But when it's about so many people in the community, when it's about touching lives and in a very genuine way, not just for the sake of it. I mean, as you said, I've been doing TikToks and there have been so many people who've been sending me messages saying, oh, in this gloomy lockdown period, we look forward to your TikToks and you make us laugh and it's such a lovely thing that you're doing. I didn't start off as any social service. I was doing it because I was equally bored, right? And then it suddenly gave me a purpose and motive. Like, okay, now I'm not just making it for my own satisfaction and my own fun and everything. It is touching people. It is making them smile and laugh. And suddenly there was a bigger purpose to it. You know what I'm saying? Although they are silly, they are stupid. So many of my actor community people have told me, Shalima, you're an actor, a serious actor shouldn't be doing things like that. And so another thing that I've learned on my journey is I listen to my heart. I come across a lot of people, right? So many of them say such good things and they say it from the goodness of their heart. And so many people give a lot of advice and say negative things also. They're saying it again from their own perspective. So I know what I am, who I am, and I just go basis that. I will definitely take a feedback if it helps me improve my life or my skills or anything. But if I listen to people who say, don't do TikToks, then I'm not me. Then I am who those people want me to be or who the other group wants me to be. Then who am I really if I'm, changing and listening to everyone and everyone's feedback? So that's one thing that I very strongly believe in, that if my heart is in the right place, God is with me, even if there is a failure, we'll manage, we'll see, we'll handle it.
Thank you. That is the exact point that I wanted coming out. It is you've got to be who you are and edit your life ruthlessly to live the life you are meant to live. Because that's when the divine and the faith we have and God that who's supporting us, all of us who believe, is when he sees or she sees your story through and holds your hand. And with much gratitude, I don't know if everyone heard the key word that Shalima works with is gratitude. Positively gratitude.
I live by it actually, because even when things are not going wrong, I actually say thank you. Things are not going right. I still say thank you that, okay, maybe it would have become worse and you saved me from that, so, and that comes, I think, from the faith. Your gratitude, your positivity has to come from faith. If you believe in something, and you have to believe it from the core of your heart. So recently, I would love to repeat this. I've, shared this with a couple of people, but it inspired me so much that I'd like to say it at your forum. I went through a workshop and it said, bounce back. I love Louise Hay. I have done workshop, Heal Your Life, and I've, heard her audiobooks and everything. So this was one of her students who took this workshop saying, bounce back in 2021. And there were 3 steps to it. The first step is reprogram your conscious mind. If you're feeling angry, sad, depressed, or frustrated, stop and see what are you thinking right now, because of which those feelings are coming, right? Change that. So that gives you a lot of power, especially in this day and age when we're hearing negative news from everywhere, right? It just gets us down. And staying down doesn't help. If you're not suffering yourself, then you need to be up there to be able to pull up other people who are suffering, because all of us in the ditch cannot help each other out. So some people need to be out of the ditch to be able to pull out the ones who are in it. So you have to reprogram your conscious mind. Second is reprogram your subconscious mind. Conscious mind is okay, stop and you change, and the feelings change with your thoughts. But subconscious mind is always telling you a story. Like I had that story going on. You're not a writer. You can't write. And then you have to say no. And it's scientifically proven that you can reprogram your subconscious mind. So small example, you're like thinking, okay, from tomorrow, I'm going to give up sugar, which I've tried so many times and I've done many times and I've not been successful many times. So I'm like, okay, so I'm not going to have sugar from tomorrow. And then the subconscious mind says, forget it. There's that chocolate cake lying in the fridge. Finish that, then we'll see, right? So you will not get in life what you want. You will get in life what you believe in from the core of your heart, and with that comes discipline. So to reprogram your subconscious mind, you'll be like, no, I will leave sugar from tomorrow and let me see who stops me. So that reprogramming happens because now your subconscious mind is like, dude, she's serious. It's not something she's just saying and is not going to do. So that way you can reprogram your subconscious mind. Third was very interesting, which I haven't read or heard anywhere. You have to operate at a level of 500 and above of your vibration. Now, what does that mean? Anytime you're sad, angry, frustrated, or depressed, you're operating at a level of 500 and below. All the time when you're acting out of love, gratitude, peace, and joy, love, gratitude, peace, and joy, you are at a level of 500 and above, the vibration level of 500 and above. Now, when you enter a room with that kind of a vibration, people are going to suddenly say, oh, so good to see her, right? As against when you're below 500, then, you're like an energy suck. Oh my God, she's come. So there are, since childhood, my dad used to give this example that there are people who walk into the room and everybody goes, oh, wow, they've come. Now it's going to be fun. And there are some people who walk into the room, people are like, oh God, they've come, right? So he would always tell us that which side of the people do you want to be? And, the ones that people are happy to see or the ones people are like rolling their eyes to see. So when people are happy to see you, that means you're always operating at a level of love, joy, peace, and gratitude. And how do you get to that point is a very important question, right? So for that, the first point is you choose your friends wisely. The circle that you hang around, has to be someone that believes in your dreams. And I've been very fortunate to have a circle like that, because of which Dreamcatchers is where it is. My friends always supported me, were always there for me. And that is so important. You don't want to hang around people who are like, hey, well done, but are mocking you behind your back. So you don't want that company around you. You want cheerleaders. You want people who believe in your dreams.
Encouragers.
Absolutely, encouragers. Second is, stop looking at a door that's closed for so long that you don't notice the doors that are open. So don't look in the past so long. Give newer opportunities in your life a chance. So many times, be it a relationship, be it a project, be it whatever in life, we are sitting and analyzing and, analysis paralysis, as they say. Why didn't that work? Why didn't this work? What happened? Da-da-da, this, that, and the other. And then you don't notice the other newer opportunities that are there, right? So you need to focus on the newer opportunities so that the old ones you can let go of. And how do you let go of that? Third point, you forgive yourself and forgive others, right? You need to forgive yourself, because we are so tough on ourselves. If a friend is going through something, tough in her life, some difficult phase, how we are, right, with them. Oh, that's all right. Maybe she didn't mean to say it. It's okay. Things will work out better. Da, da, da. All nice. When it comes to us, we're like, yeah, you deserve this only. What is this? It always happens with you. You only must be doing something wrong. We are so negative. So it is so important to forgive yourself of the mistakes you do as well, and then forgive others in the process, so that you just move on. Life is too short, especially during these times. We are realizing how short life is. Today we are sitting and chatting. Who knows what's happening tomorrow? And it's really scary. So when life is so fragile, you don't want to earn any bad karmas. You don't want to hurt anyone. You just want to spread love around, because you want to be remembered as a loving person and not as a mean, rude kind of a person, right? So that was the third. And the fourth was, always connect to your higher self. So whatever it is that you believe in, it's Buddha, it's meditation you want to do, it's your almighty, you go to satsang, or you go to church or temple or mosque, whatever is your higher power, connect with that every day. Because sometimes what happens, in our work or in our relationships, we become complacent. We feel like, oh, things are going fine and everything's right. And, we start thinking like we are invincible, which is so wrong, because nobody is, right? So when you're connecting to your higher self, you realize you're just a speck in the universe. And you then realize what your place is on earth. And that is very important for anyone. There are so many people who will do certain things and get appreciation and then think no end of themselves. And sometimes I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, okay, like everybody is working and everybody gets applauded and everybody is doing the best they can in their own individual fields. Some are noticed, some are not noticed, but everybody is doing their best on a daily basis. So none of us have the right to gloat about what we're doing. Like, what gives us the right to gloat about it? We are working, we get success, great. 4 people say nice things, wonderful, carry on working. Earn that goodwill and then carry on working. And take it in your stride. Both the negative and the positive have to be taken in your stride. You can't let either the positive comments or the negative comments get to your head. That's when the downfall starts. That's when you feel, oh, I'm loved by so many people. It takes a second for people to start hating you.
Yeah.
So you have to be true to who you are, true to what you believe in, and then, leave it to the Almighty.
Absolutely. No, so I think this is the energy that you and I have always connected on. I think I always say that when you enter a room, your energy introduces you first. So it's not even your hi, hello, your name, and you're rightly. And we know the 9, in fact, some of the music therapies I do, and since you touched upon it, I'm sharing. It's not the Dream Books Films part, but it is, art therapy. And writing is an important therapy, writing your scripts, whatever it is, right? Putting your dreams down like you've done. And acting on it. I think the difference between putting your dreams down on a piece of paper and acting on it is, Shalima. That's the point, right, that you make. And manifesting is one thing, believing in the Almighty is one thing, and raising frequencies of 963 hertz, 528 hertz are love and gratitude frequencies. So if you're able to vibrate on those frequencies and listen to bhajans or even listen to music which raises our vibration very quickly, if you can't sit and do it alone, we can put on music. Music has this power of putting us there, whoever we are. So since you've been, and I must say that I think that is one of the good things of being an entrepreneur in the music and arts creative field, right? And that is a very powerful field to be in. Today it has multiple opportunities on the online. So when you became a writer, you chose to jump into making films, whether short, long, that's later, but you decided to make your words come alive, right? That leap you took, other than just acting yourself and behaving sometimes very very coy and beautiful and that girly stuff and beautiful actress, you also experimented on being funny and being silly and being cartoon. Right now that is a long spectrum, and that is not afraid to be vulnerable. Very important in this creative field. Not afraid to be rejected. Not afraid of saying, "Look at Shalima," or not caring about that. That's actually, you're already at that frequency where it doesn't matter. You're doing it for the love of your heart, right? So Sorry. So when you decided to make films, I want to hear on that now. Moving from dreams, you've started making films. You've turned filmmaker, right? And that's not the one of the projects that you're doing. You've done bandwidth, you've done music shows, you're constantly in music and platforms and drama and theater, right? You're also a theater actress, and I want to hear a little about your theater experience, and then how does it feel to move from a static one-time appreciation to now being a filmmaker and choosing the projects you do. You've given me projects where you're also a very powerful, what you call it, ambassador for women and mental health, right? So I relate to you on that front, being a counseling psychologist. So I'm happy to see that part of you, and I think I relate a lot in that, and I see you act it out. And I must tell all our friends watching and aspirant writers, you've got to live it as well. You cannot disconnect it. Okay, I will do something at 5 to 6, and then after that we're all compartmentalizing in this age and time. We need to do it while I'm on the computer. My gas stove can't be on, so we are all compartmentalizing. Absolutely right, we know this now, what's going on. While you're here sitting prim and proper, you've shut off everything and focusing, right? So mindfully doing it, putting in all of that passion, right? So Shalima, tell me your most loved genre in films, and what kind of films you've made, and what kind of films you plan to make as well. I want to understand your filmmaking journey.
All right. So I've always wanted to be an actor. Right from childhood, I've wanted to be an actor. And so I did a lot of plays and all that in school and college and all. And I also tried my hand at it after college. But unfortunately, Delhi didn't have that scope. So I kind of buried that dream somewhere that, oh, okay, leave it be kind of thing. And so because I couldn't do it on stage or in films, I would always be a naughty with my friends or in the house or whatever, right? Because that little part of you that you're so passionate about lives on, even if you don't do anything about it. And then just about 4 or 5 years back, I went for a theater performance of a friend, and she's a couple of years older. And then I asked her, how come theater? She said, oh, I just took this course and I got into theater. And so there's Actor Prepares, run by Shalaka here. I did my first course with her and got through Dastak 3-4 years back and did theater, Hindi theater with them. And then there was just no looking back. So any audition anywhere, I would just go give auditions. And so Dastak I did 2 times till now. And then, then I was curious to see what kind of, expressions, emotions, or what my field range was. I could do comedy. I did comedy with Dastak both the years. And I wanted to explore the soft side of me, the emotional side of me. That's when I started writing my own monologues. So there were a couple of courses that there's this Bollywood actor, Shishir Sharma. He came here and I did with him as well. That's when I wrote my monologues. And it just, when you give fire to your passion, fuel to your passion, it just fires up, right? And when the fire becomes big, then there is no stopping it. That's when another friend of mine who did this Actor Prepares course with me said, you are into events and we are both passionate actors. Why don't we find a niche, which anyways Dreamcatchers always did for all our events, and do something that's new and different. Now, theater is an age-old thing. It doesn't belong to anyone. It's 1,000+ years old, right? But I wanted to find a niche that nobody else, in Singapore at least, is doing, so that we're not stepping on anyone's toes. And that's when Timeless Tales was born. So with this friend of mine, Anandita Ghosh from Arclight Productions, both of us launched it in 2019. And we had successful 5 shows. We were doing, the old stories, the age-old stories to modern-day adaptations. Like, Othello became Ohello. Devdas was retold in modern-day settings. And so many such stories, Oliver and a Twist and stuff like that. And our niche was in English, and these age-old stories told to modern-day adaptation with cast and crew from different nationalities. So we had 16 nationalities in our 60 cast and crew. A very dear friend and mentor of mine said, oh, this is like the United Nations of theater. And that was the biggest compliment that came our way, and we got a lot of media coverage for it. The national television here, MediaCorp covered it. We got coverage in Tabla for 2020 production. So we did it again last year, 5 sold out shows. The first season, Johnson and Johnson bought an entire show. Second season, another corporate company called FIS bought an entire show. Second season was a bit of a challenge because COVID had just started spreading in Singapore that time, and our production time came right when the fear was spreading, and there were no sanitizers and no thermometers and nothing. So that last minute scramble to get all of that and to do everything with MOH guidelines was a huge challenge, which I guess any entrepreneur in any field faces from time to time. But we got over that as well. And then there was complete lockdown. Now, after so much fun and everything, so I was part of 2 plays in 2019. I was part of 2 plays in 2020. And as they say, in Hindi, some of you would know, muh mein khoon lag gaya, kind of thing. So when you taste something you're so in love with, you're passionate about, then you just can't sit and not do it. And so again, there was a course, another very well-known personality here, Shilpa Krishnan, took it to make zero budget films. And so we signed up for it. And the first short film that I made was 1 minute. And it was produced by Dreamcatchers. The director was Himanshu, my husband. And I wrote the story for it again. Imagine telling a story, start, middle, end in a minute. And people said, oh, lovely, great, very nice, So that encouraged and pushed me to then write a 5-minute short film. And that was Flip Side. That was on domestic violence, because I was again hearing, and a lot of research went into it. How does it happen? Why do people suffer from it? Why can't they? Because see, for me, it's difficult to fathom, touch wood. I have a loving relationship. Domestic abuse at home, especially when you're in lockdown, where you're kind of stuck with your perpetrator and you can't even leave the house and go, was something that was mind-boggling. And then I had to research a lot and then wrote a script. And so shot that film, again, very well received. Then that confidence that we are able to tell our story, it is being well received. Nobody is saying that, what was this? Or what did you, mean by this? Or what were you trying to say? So imagine telling a whole story in 5 minutes. And from there did Caged, which was about mental health, awareness. And again, that a very dear friend of mine, Kini Shavi, who's a counselor, her company came on board, Tree of Life, and she gave me a lot of material, from her experience and research material. And that's when I wrote that story. And from personal experience as well, because, my dad wouldn't understand mental health issues. He's saying everything's cool, we belong to a very positive part of the world kind of family. And so he couldn't understand this. And I was like, no, so not for other people, but for my dad, for him to understand that depression is real, that there are people, struggling with it, and they don't have to be people who don't have anything. They could be people who have everything and they're still struggling with it, right? So that was important to narrate. And then by God's grace, I got an opportunity with the other production. It's a new production. It just got covered in Tabla magazine yesterday. I've got a film with them, and I'm the sole actor in it. And that is a very tough role, which they're saying I did a good job. So I'll leave it for you guys to decide. It's going to release, I think, mid-July sometime. I'll let you know. And so that was a film that I did for some other production. Then there was another student film that I did for a polytechnic in Singapore. And I am petrified of dogs. All my friends know that. I am so scared of dogs. And I played a vet in that, So imagine to try and inject a dog to put him to sleep. That was the scariest thing that I had to, do with a lot of calm and all of that. So again, my constant connection to God was there, that I should be able to do this well without looking all scared and nervous myself. So that I did. And then now we are launching Timeless Tales. Since we didn't want to do theater this time, given the circumstances, we are now launching Timeless Tales Film Edition. So this will be mid-July, August timeframe. A lot of my friends and family here are super excited about it. And these are going to be 5 short films. 4 of them have already been shot. The fifth one is gonna start tomorrow. So I have an early reporting time tomorrow. I'm playing in. Okay, I'll not give that away. So yeah, so I'm an actor in that film, and so it's fun sometimes to juggle both hats, producer also and actor also, and then you need to realize, oh, okay, when I have to organize things, producer hat on. Then when the things are organized, producer hat off, actor hat on. Then you got to give yourself completely in the hands of your director and do as he or she says. So yes, so I have shoot tomorrow, I have shoot next weekend, and I have shoot the weekend after that, and that's what keeps us going. And while we just finished Superstar Singapore successfully,
Yeah.
we are already planning another event together, and so yeah, inshallah, we'll keep catching dreams and just stay busy, positive, happy, because an idle mind is a devil's workshop, and then we overthink, and that doesn't help any one of us.
And that I think you don't have at all. You don't have space.
I don't have space, that's true. And intentionally so, I just love to keep busy. And if I'm not busy working, then I'm busy mingling with friends. So, everybody knows that I'm a people's person. I get my energy from friends and energy from people I interact with. For semifinals itself, we had 200 over artists. This was a virtual semifinals that we did. And interacting with them constantly because the judges kept changing with different genres and different art forms. But I, being the host, was the constant there. But by God's grace, I got my energy from everyone who was logging on. And, I wasn't tired at all. I was excited and enthusiastic about every artist that was coming in. We were showcasing their videos and stuff. So, yeah, that's what keeps me going as well.
Wow, that's a phenomenal trajectory that you have. And just what? How many? 5 films now? 6 films? 6?
About 9.
9 now.
9.
Name them, Shalima. Which are they? Name them.
Oh wow. Okay. So it started with there was this Woodlands project that I did earlier. That was local production. It was called Woodlands Project. Then second was Players, 5 Questions, Jussie, Flipside, Caged, Butterflies, which is going to release in July, and Put a Ring on It, Lighthouse, 10 actually. The 10th one, the 10th one being Buddy. That's on Vidsea. So that was the student film where I played the vet.
Okay. So that's quite a lot, in what? In a year and a half? A year and a half or 2 years? 2 years, right?
Yeah, about a year and a half.
That's a lot of busy work, lady. So yeah, so I have a question here on this. Now, being producer, okay, and a lot of our the mentoring that we're doing, or very senior people who are moving from making from a script, from the book, to making it into a script. It's a different journey. You can't just use a book, or you just have a synopsis on a script and then make it into produce it, so that you make it market ready, as we call it, treatment and the development, and then you go to a OTT platform. That's a journey where you need to be either get an angel investor or your friends to produce, give you that part of the money, not to make the film, but make it market ready to sell to the OTT platform. That's a journey. Yeah. What advice would you like to give as a producer? Because I have a lot of people saying, but we know after we've commissioned, or we've got a commission, we can pay for it, and where do we get the money from? How do we manage this? Can you give a little inspirational on how would you be able to manage this, and what would you advise people on this part? You don't always have to have a big pocket, right?
Absolutely. So try and shoot it in a way that you're not spending too much on it, and or you have someone whose products probably you're showcasing through a story. So that's another way, get a sponsor on board, or go to a platform like yours where you're helping people then take their dream project to the OTT, because that helps a lot. Not everyone has the bandwidth to write, act, produce, and also spread the word about their films. Not everyone knows how to market it. In that case, then when you've put your heart, soul, and energy into a film, then it's best to go to a platform like yours, which is Dream Books Films. And you are connected, right? You're in Mumbai, you're connected to people, and not only connected to OTT platforms, but writers who can then, if someone has a story in their head, can write it for you, you know?
Yeah.
So that is important to know what your strengths are. If your strengths are in marketing, great, go ahead and market it. But if you think that, no, I am just creative, I can put everything down, make a great film, get all actors, director, everything organized, but I can't market it myself, then they should definitely reach out, because how does it help putting in so much effort, energy into a project and then not seeing it reach out to a wider audience?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
definitely take help from people who know what they're doing and are connected.
Right. So well said. I think take professional help and people who know the business so that you don't get make mistakes. Especially where finances are concerned. Today it's a very tight market, and hence take professional help. Yes, we do. DreamBooks Films does takes you through the journey. Whoever, and when I say mentoring, it is not a training program, but it is absolutely walking you through that. And multiple projects are happening currently. And in fact, this is something I must say about Singapore is that it's a potpourri of all these talents, right? You have people who are vibrant. It's got facilities. It's got the right things click together. I must say that is an important part, Shalima. I mean, you would give it to the island that they do provide these things, and when
And it's very well managed, in terms of getting your licenses and doing things. It's very well managed.
very structured, organized, just the way you would like it and the way I would like it. Now you can imagine the frayed nerves one can get when one is in a very distracted, full of noise kind of a nation, where there's so much of talent, but there's also a lot of jugaad happening, as they use that word, right? And jugaad works in Singapore. So I mean that. Right, so that disclaimer I must give our viewers, that yes, there are certain developed countries which give you these opportunities, and if you're sitting in those developed countries, use those opportunities. You're in a better situation and position to bring forth great content to to the OTT platforms. Like, we're seeing so many international, and they are not come out of big names. They have come from people who have have these real stories. And that's why I realized that if I'm an Indian, if I'm able to give this Dreams Books platform, because it was a dream that took seed in Singapore, but it didn't make too much sense there because everything is so given. It's so smooth, right?
It's
It's-
connected. It's a small community which is very well connected, right? So you
yeah.
can get a lot of media coverage, and then just writing here and there. Some of the OTT platforms do entertain and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I was quite humbled when this UD's quick review reached out and they said, "Oh, we want to review your films and we loved Soulmates." Oh, sorry, 11. So I forgot to count Soulmates.
Who was hold down? I have to stop you here, okay? Who was their soulmate in that film? You've had it.
So Himanshu was acting with me. You have to see that film if you haven't. It's a 7.5 minutes film, and people were like, "Oh my god!" So this gentleman who reviewed the film was like, "I was like, what the hell, right? Like, what a twist in the end." So yeah, so I'm not gonna give it away. If you haven't seen it, please go see it. It has that twist, and again, it was made during lockdown kind of time frame, and very few outdoor locations we could go to where we could shoot without the mask and all. And it was a fun project. It was a fun project. Limited resources and still to pull off a story. And this we did for India Film Project. So it was a 50-hour movie challenge. We literally shot, produced, came up with the idea, everything in 30 hours and submitted. So
I
that was
remember
fun.
that. Yeah, I remember that particular challenge. Yeah. No, in fact, on this point, I must say, I mean, you gave a lot of gratitude to your support system, to the country that's supporting your ventures, and all of the. So that's a lot of gratitude. But would you like to say something about the support system that says, "Wow, 9 films"? Now he's going to change that and say, "Lady, you forgot the 2 films, 11 films." To
But I
Himanshu.
never forget to mention him. He's my backbone. And he does play my soulmate, though you have to see the film to figure out what kind of soulmate he plays in the film. But
Okay.
yes, he's definitely my backbone, my support. I always, say I couldn't have done it without him. Having said that, for everyone listening, Dreamcatchers is my baby. He has a high-flying corporate, job, because people sometimes think, oh, it's run by Shalimar Himanshu. No, Dreamcatchers is my baby. Okay, Himanshu has his own corporate job, which he's like happy with, and he does help me because he's a creative person as well.
Yeah.
So he does help me with my things, but yes, Dreamcatchers belongs to
No, so I've heard Himanshu sing. I know his faculties on the guitar, amazing, and he's an absolutely talented
No,
person. So
not
do
only
convey our
sings,
regards.
he composes music. He's composed music for Soulmates, and now he's composing music for other upcoming films of ours. So yeah, he has
Wow.
that talent as well, and he's a director for Put a Ring on
Mhm.
It, for Soulmates. Producer, of course, is Dreamcatchers, but yeah, he's directed and he's acted as well, other than
I
producing
am.
music.
I'm going to fix up some time to listen to him. I have to listen to his takes.
Absolutely,
Yes,
absolutely.
you have hired him as a, it's like Dreamcatchers hires an absolute musician and a director and a good-looking. Now, let
And
me
then
tell you,
he's gonna
Shalima.
say that I don't even get paid. So
Well, you get food on the table. You can tell him that.
yeah.
Okay. So, but Shalima, on your TikTok videos, I must compliment Himanshu. How much ever humor you bring to it, his acting is crazy. It's phenomenal, and I'm saying this on this platform. I
Yes,
think
and he's also a perfectionist. So I would just do it for fun, whether it's come out okay, not okay. I'm like, okay, great, done. Let's post it. No, no, no. Let's do it one more time. I'm like, you're taking the fun out of it. He's saying, no, no, but the lip sync has to be perfect. The expressions have to be perfect. So that's why, it comes out way more professional and perfect when he's in it. When it comes to me and my TikTok, I'm like, whatever. And I'm like just posting it for fun. Yeah,
no,
he's
no,
the
no.
perfectionist.
No, no, it's superb. I must. That is a compliment for him, and it's he's in line with some professional artistry skills. That said, I mean, he can teach a few people what he's doing because it is an art. He's just got. I know Himanshu, right? He's a corporate person. It's not easy for a corporate person to get behind the camera and do this. So it has to be something which is a lot of passion and talent, and you are there in the frame as well, right? So it's easier, I
First
guess.
push I had to give, he's like, I'm not going to do all this. So the first push,
Really.
I was like, come on, it's going to be fun. But after that, yeah, he started enjoying it himself too. So it was
So,
cool.
so our viewers who just heard this last sentence that Shalima just said, she said, "I had to tell him and I had to push him." Now, that is the inspiration you can give others. If you are feeling a little happy, I urge you to share that with others. If you're feeling creative, like we are doing, we would like to share it. This is only meant to share. What Shalima has just described is her journey. It is meant for us to take away. What can we take away from Shalima? What she just said from her life? I mean, not all of us are going to become filmmakers. Not all of us are going to write, but we are going to take the help to somebody to make us a writer. To maybe we can't write for nuts, right? We just can. Oh, I have a story, okay, but I don't know how to write. So get a ghostwriter. So come to Dream Books Films or find somebody who will write it for you, right? And these artists need to be paid. So you write a script treatment, all that, so these things artists all need to be paid. I support artists to be paid very strongly, and do not take artists for granted, or it's very important. I think, Shalima, that's the other professional attitude that you get from Singapore, because every artist gets paid. Yeah. Unlike some countries. But coming to the crux of your film, I have a film that you sent me, which is Flip Side,
That's
right?
fine.
I'm going to try and show a clip if it works nice for people. But I have covered, I think, all your inspiration on that one. Okay. I want to make sure that you write that book, Your Journey. Okay. And we'll title it. Number one, I'm commissioning you. It's like now itself. And not to forget this project, Shalima. You have to
Yeah.
write, you have to begin writing
It's
your
like a
journey.
blessing coming my way, and I'm gonna say, and so it is.
Yes. And
And
so
yes,
it
I
is.
will.
Amen. And yeah, any mental health stuff and those kind of things which we want to do, out of gratitude, yes. But very senior serious scripts are there. I think, Shalima, you should. I will connect with you to certain people who are looking for your kind of work and very dedicated work. So again, You need dedication. You can't be, I know some of my friends who are actors and stars, they do get dejected a lot. Do you want to touch upon that? How does, you said, if you're in the ditch, how could you? And I have this sentence to everybody, as from my own experiences, that the ship only sinks when the water gets in, otherwise it doesn't, right? So if one can remember that, so how would you say, tell us, tell all of us this on this platform, that it is not money that brings us out of dejection. I'm constantly being having to coach people on this, and the dejection comes from something else. Either it's low self esteem, it's past fears and scars, the negating like of friends or people who don't encourage. Even if they don't put you down, they don't encourage you. हाँ देखेंगे,
Right.
बाद में करेंगे, it's like देखेंगे,
Right.
चलो
Right.
चलो काम करो अभी,
Right.
you know
No,
you
that's a very
constantly.
important thing you're saying because, I've been doing Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. And the first and most important thing she teaches in that is self love. So, for everyone to not be in that ditch or, to feel low about themselves, you have to look in the mirror and say, I love you just the way you are. So, for each one of us to accept us the way we are, that is the biggest and first step to then, getting out of the ditch. So many of us are in the ditch for very different reasons. Kids in school have different reasons, kids in colleges have different reasons, entrepreneurs, corporate professionals, homemakers, whoever it is, has some or the other negative story going on in their head. I'm not good enough, I'm not thin enough, I'm not fair enough, I'm not talented enough, or whatever it is, right? So, first thing that you need to do is tell yourself, I am enough. I am God's creation. How can there be any flaw in me? Once that acceptance comes, that I love you, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. And thank you for being who you are today. And then, whatever you need to change in your life or, adapt or maybe, get something positive or do whatever, but do it from a place of love. Do it from a place of positivity. Do it from that space that I am enough. Now I'm going to do to work towards changing or adapting or doing what I love more, but not from a place of lack, from a place of love. When everything starts from a place of love, then it becomes better and bigger, and you can grow. But the minute we feel we are not good enough, the half the battle is lost there itself. Because then it takes so much to get yourself out of that ditch to then achieve something else in life. That becomes very difficult. So start with self-love. I've shared this many times. I was a cabin crew, and we were taught that when there's an emergency, you're supposed to put the oxygen mask onto your face first, not your child's, right? So people would say, oh my God, what kind of a mom? She should be putting the oxygen mask on her child first. But what if in the process you faint? And then, none of you have the oxygen mask. So have your cup full and brimming, and that's when you can give back to your society, your children, your family, or whoever it is. You have to have that self love for yourself. And kudos to everyone who participated in Superstar Singapore or any such platform that we've provided. They have taken out that time, they've given themselves that importance, to take out that time for themselves to nurture their hobby, to nurture their passion. And then when you are so fulfilled and happy in yourself, then you give back so much more back to your family, your children, your friends, your society, whatever that is you want to impact.
Correct. No, actually, and this word of self-love, a lot of people don't understand, right? So they think it's, what you just said is that, it's being selfish. No, but you correctly explained it. That's the meaning of being vibrant and being able to. Then you are able to contribute better. I'm enough is a very important
So
statement. I'm enough. I'm blessed.
self love is not vanity that, oh, I look good. Now I love myself. You could look like hell when you wake up in the morning and you still say, oh, I love you. You're beautiful the way you are. When you can say that with a smile on your face and genuinity, then you've arrived. Because most of the time when we get up in the morning, we're looking at ourselves, oh my eyes, oh my this, oh my that. So that's not acceptance. That's then if you say, okay, today I look good and I love myself, then you're loving yourself out of vanity, not out of acceptance of who you really are.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
True.
with your flaws, with your negatives and positives, and the whole package that you are.
Yeah, and who said they were flaws, right?
Yeah,
Who said? Yeah, yeah.
who said
So,
exactly?
in terms of now bringing films, right, now that you're into short films, tell me, Shalima, I want to understand what is your next big dream project on produce. I mean, it's like you won't share the whole thing, but yes, I understand. Is Will you be producing your own? Will you be partner producing? There are methods of doing this, right? Or will you look at acquisition partners, producers, or would
So
you
the
like to
next big one,
bring
yeah,
that
the
film to
next
the
big one.
digital platform, or will you
Yes,
take
so
it
it's
to?
all in store. So we are producing these 5 short films, which are then going to be showcased in the theater here in Singapore. And once we've had, say about 8, 10 shows in the theaters here in Singapore, then we are going to go approach OTT platforms. At that point, I will come to you for your help.
You are you
Then we will. Yes.
You don't need to
Well,
come to me for help. You're a part of Dream Books Films, so you're anyway a part of it.
yeah,
So
so that's when we will reach out to various OTT platforms. We are also talking to a couple of TV channels and whatever works best for all artists involved. It becomes like a family. It's a timeless tales family. So,
correct.
like the film that we're going to start shooting tomorrow, the
Mhm.
director is Gauri, and she's been my mentor. I did my first theater performance to an audience with her as my director,
She's a
and
fabulous
that
person. So you
fun
got
I
guided
haven't been able to
correctly.
replicate. The kind of masti that we did on set. Okay, am I back now? Yeah. So the play was called Jhamela. It was a comedy play. Can you guys hear me? Candy, you stuck. Okay.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. So it became like a family, and we would eat and drink and make boomerangs with me, goes boomerangs and slow mos and the whole masala and package and everything. So we did that, and she was sweet enough to not say, "What are you doing? Don't waste time." So that fun element is so important for me in any situation. Even with the Superstar Singapore, at the end of the whole 8 to 10 hours day, we would then with the crew put on some music and dance before we would leave. We'd all be so exhausted. You're there for 8, 10 hours, then in front of the screen, you're smiling and this, that, and the other. But we had to dance before we left the studio because work has to be fun. Work can't be serious and boring and this, that, and the other. So it's having fun as a team together is very important. And that brings me back to Timeless Tales, which we are going to, launch in mid-July, as I said. 5 short films. It's going to be about an hour and a half long, show, and again, different nationalities involved. 5 different stories, and I'm in 2 of the 5 as an actor. And that's the dream project that
Nice.
we're working on, both my partner Nandita for Timeless and
Mhm.
myself. So this is our big
Yeah.
production that we're working on.
Kudos and congratulations on that new step. I mean, these are all hardworking things, guys who and girls who are listening, or people who would be tuning in. These, take rigor, right? Like Shalima has actually, we did this planning of capturing her 1 hour much in advance
I
so that her
actually
calendar
thought
was
it
blocked.
was half an hour. I was telling my friends it's a 30 minutes thing. And now I see the time. We've been literally talking for an hour and a half.
Nice.
We have some chatterboxes, I tell you.
Five, yeah, so 5:15, so we are almost done. And it's no, but inspiration is inspiration, right, Shalima? So the more you give it away, the more you get, is what I think. It's like love. So it is that. And yes, kudos to that. And you must, I would encourage you, while this journey is to make it, take it to a good digital platform. So we are with you on that. So that's understood, right? I told you, you're a part of the team.
Absolutely, absolutely. That
So
is the
yes.
next step after it's showcased here in theaters. That is definitely the next step, along with sending it to various film festivals as well.
Yeah, so once you do the theater route, now I'm covering a topic which is on films, but and the chief mentor will be on our next panel where you're in discussion with Mr. Brahmanand Singh. But I am touching a little on that. Is it's when people want to attach to festivals, you can't go to a digital platform. We know this rule. So once you've touched the digital platform, you can't go to a festival. That's a rule that Cannes has done.
Go
And
to
most
the
of
festivals before you go to the platform,
yes,
right?
yes.
That's the
So don't.
jugaad.
Yes. So don't go to a digital platform. But yes, but if somebody is not really not interested, because in these times in the next 2 years, we don't know if you're going to go to festivals, right? It's all online. So online, everything online. So even digital is online. So it's all confused, right? So you can, go to commercially. So are we really ready for the commercial? When do you know your project is ready? When do you know what is ready to take to an OTT platform is something that we will cover in the next episode of Shalima and Mr. Brahmanand Singh when they'll be together, because while Shalima has covered the dream part of the dream books and films, a very important first step. Okay, I'm very happy and grateful to you for this, Shalima, because your articulation, right? I would have to ask you to speak in Hindi, but I'm sure people understand, and all our friends understand, and they'll figure it out, because energy doesn't. You don't need language for energy, so that energy is very evident across the platform as well. On that, for the dreams part, I mean, turning dreams into something real and listening to them is what Shalima has done all her life. Am I right in saying that? All her life.
Yes, yes, with His grace, with absolutely His
Yes,
grace.
but you're still listening. You need to tune into that intuition. You need to tune into that self within who's screaming the dream.
Having said that, I believe that one idea floats around at the same time, to many people. And then there are few of them who catch it. So it's not like, Dreamcatcher's idea just came to me. I'm sure it was floating around. I'm sure there's someone, in probably Canada, US, who knows where, right? Who got the similar idea, acted on it, didn't act on it, I don't know. But the universe has ideas floating around. Whoever is in tune that time, is probably in that frequency, catches it. And then if you're relentless, you make it happen. So that always happens. And having said that, मेरी हिंदी भी बहुत अच्छी है. अगर आप मुझे पहले बोलते तो मैं पूरी बात हिंदी में कर सकती थी.
Wow, look at that. She just floated into the language, and that is exactly what you need to be on your feet. And that is a very well demonstrated point of bringing a dream or converting it into. I mean, I didn't have to say anything, and she just took it. So, realize these small things. I just said maybe in Hindi, and she picked it up. Right, so these are very important listening cues, and you might be smiling, Shalima, but these are very important traits that I'm showing you the mirror. I'm showing this to everyone. So a lot of our friends here, Chavi Kulshetra is saying right way to go. Sarabjit has been a great supporter in this program currently, saying wow, 9 films. And Himanshu, you'll have to deal with over dinner, I'm sure, who said 9 films, and you tell him it's 11 films, my dear friend and husband, right? Smita Saini, thank you for joining. Neeta Bajaj, I'm just going to call out all our friends. Gurnam Kaur, thank you. Sarabjit ji, thank you. Chavi ji, thank you.
These are all my earnings, all these friends of mine who take out and listen to the same story again and again and are supporting me throughout. This is what I've earned,
Wow,
which is incredible. This is, yeah.
No, they're great friends to have. Thank you, Sonia ji. So I also know some of them. So Sonia Sidhu ji, and thank you for encouraging us. I mean, encouragement is such an important part of the process. So thank you for joining us and giving us all of this encouragement that we so want and need. And it's actually not an encouragement, it's a lot of love. So on this note, Shalima, great conversation. I love talking to you.
Thank you so much. Likewise.
I want to say I wish it was over coffee in our favorite places that we used to meet. I know, God willing, inshallah, someday we will.
Very soon.
I want to say a part, before we close this program for everyone, thanks to you, Sarabjit ji and Chavi ji. Aapko bahut thanks, Candy ji. So sweet. I'm also saying it in Hindi. I'm going to try and play your flip side, okay? And I want to end.
Lovely.
Yes, just a 5 minute. I'll just want to show, but I want to end with because you have so much of 963 gratitude energy. I want to end with two lines of a prayer for what all of us are going through currently. So let's repeat together. And raise the vibrations to the divine together. May all be blessed.
All be blessed.
May all we are all grateful,
We are all grateful.
and we are very thankful for all the blessings of the divine.
We are very thankful for all the blessings of the divine.
And may the divine and God bless everyone who needs and calls out to the divine for and to take us out of all these troubles currently. To everyone. So on that note, I sincerely hope all of this is just gone away with all the love and the God's love we need so much in these times. I do pray online a lot, and I invite energies because we've got to stay in that energy to take away the bad. And as much as it is difficult for a lot of people, I want to tell a lot of people this, Shalima. Like, I don't know if you'll noticed, Shalima, she didn't say take care. She's not said that word take care. And there's a reason why. Stay safe, take care. Now, stay safe, take care is a nice word, but stay safe is it triggers fear in a person. So I would request everybody who's saying stay safe, they think it's a very nice thing to say, hello, hi, yo, stay safe. No, it's not a very great word to use, though you mean it. Add, God bless. Add God's, blessings to you.
Taking care of
Along
you,
with,
yeah.
yes. So just don't end with stay safe. That's a very important thing. Yes, Imanshu. Same to you. I love you too. He said, I love you. Okay. You can go and ask him whether he did or not. I'm going to try and share the film now. Hang in there, Shalima. And all our viewers, I'm going to try and show that. I hope. Just tell me when it's
Sure.
working. Huh? I am
Thank you.
putting it
Thank you
on.
so much.
Just hold on, hold on. Can you see it, Shalima?
Yes, I can. Hi.
Hi Tara, how are
Think.
you?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, thank you so much for hosting us. We had such a blast at your place. You and Rohit make such a great couple, I tell you. Rohit becomes the life of any party. I tell you, lucky you, huh?
How are you doing?
Nothing much, yeah. Just cracked
Stop
a couple of big
right? It's the bad.
deals at work, so super busy. Same old, same old. Waiting for your next party, huh?
I think there's a little lag. So
I'll just show it for another 30 seconds.
What
and
happened? You're sounding low.
Nothing. Yeah, I'm having a massive migraine. Acha, listen, I have to get into a call, huh? I'll call you later.
Okay, take care. Bye.
Bye bye. I'll share the link, Candy. This is a bit, it's going in slow-mo kind of.
Hi, John.
Yeah. That will be good. So I'm just removing it from the stream so that we come back. Yeah. So that was just a small little snippet to show people flip side. One of your short films, a very, very powerful one. And, Shalima's own style of putting on those goggles, you won't guess what's there. So, but yeah, I mean, you've shown your same side, but well acted. Well, it's very impactful. Many people act these things, many people do these things, but I think coming from you when you did it, I think, and in a place like Singapore, suddenly you show a spectrum, like you said, I can't believe that these things happen. They are very true, Shalima. When you put that story out of even currently in the lockdown situation, it is both the sides, both spouses are going through, relationship problems and extramarital issue problems, and lots of things are happening. It is reality, but the closure has caused it to surface, right? And it's a good thing that you have done to make people realize. But do we change our behavior? Do we do that? There's a lot happening after that. Films can only bring, your dream was to make people realize. So you brought it to a film. Now, films can impact our lives so much that we are watching OTT, binge watching, one after the other episodes. Now, mentally, it's not a great thing. You must be able to switch off at some times, and I don't encourage binge watching at all as a human being, as a psychologist, as a filmmaker or a writer. I don't care, right? It isn't the right thing for the brain. Do take your breaks, do talk to human beings, do relate to people, talk to people, whether it's through a Zoom or whatever. Just reach out and talk. These are the times where we need to reach out, where we need to hug each other virtually, we need to hug each other by mind. In Thich Nhat Hanh says, he's the Vietnamese Zen master who says, you don't need to hug physically, you can do hugging meditation mentally. That itself is a big thing. So today, for all our viewers and everyone, thank you for joining us. Shalima actually has sent her love and inspiration through this platform, and that is, I think, her greatest message of dreams. And as dreams catchers, because she catches dreams and makes them real for people. And if anyone wants to work with her, just message her on this platform, what you just saw her, and reach out to her and ask her, I want to be a part of one of your programs, I want to be talking with you, want to work with you on writing a script with you, or act with you, or you act for us. Please reach out to Shalima. She's just the right. Yeah, she's, Shalima is so encouraging. If something can work, she'll tell you. And if it can't work also, she'll tell you. She'll say, let's look at it 6 months hence. She's that kind of a positive person. And I'm not joking. I've so many times we've proposed so many things together, and, so I'm very grateful to God for this time with you, Shalima. It is so enriching. And my heart's feeling, dil baag baag ho gaya. Usko kehte hain, right?
Thank you so much. Thanks to everyone who logged in. And once again, thanks from the bottom of my heart. You guys know you're very special to me. And even if you didn't log on, you're special to me. But thank you for logging on. Thank you. Thank you, Himanshu. I know it's his way of also saying, okay, enough, guys, you've been talking for a very long time.
Yes. On that parting note, Shalima, what would you like to say to Dream Books and Films? Your message to us.
I wish you all the best, and I'm sure this platform is going to take off. There are so many more filmmakers, that have sprung out of this COVID situation as well, and you are providing a platform to make their dreams come true of reaching to OTT platforms, of someone who's having a story in their mind, of writing it for them. Fabulous. No, you guys are doing a great job, and I only see sky as the limit for you. So wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. Yes, and so all of our friends, Shalima Motial goes live again on a very special talk panel with Mr. Brahmanand Singh, our chief mentor from the film fraternity, and both of them will be on panel on the 7th of May. More details on that on this same page. Watch out for that, and thank you, Shalima. Take care. I can say that, and God bless you and keep smiling. You and Himanshu and all our friends in Singapore and everywhere.
Thank
God
you.
bless. Take care.
All right. Take care. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye.